In the 4 years from 01 to 05, T-Mac finished top 3 in PER 3 times and led the league in PER once. Kobe never finished higher than 5th. And this is a guy that loves to throw out PER and advanced metrics, and that's his whole thing with Nikola Jokic. All he does is bring up PER. He's got the highest PER in history and led the league in PER 4 years in a row. But all of a sudden, now when you're comparing T-Mac and Kobe, I don't hear PER one time. I don't hear it come out your mouth once. Why is that? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Bolo, and I'm coming to you with another video for educational purposes only. And I'm gonna be honest, I am not looking forward to making this video because it's gonna make me look like I'm some kind of hater and all these other things because of super fans. This Kobe thing, obviously Kobe has a very heavy, rabid fan base, and it's been amplified after his death, so understandably so. But we still have to talk facts here. Everyone is getting on T-Mac crazy because of what he said. He didn't say he would have more success. He didn't say he would have as much success as Kobe with Shaq. He is just saying, you don't think I could win a championship? He said a championship. He didn't say you don't think I could three-peat. He didn't say that. He said a championship. And I think, yeah, he very well could have and probably would have. Now, Scap Attack, who I actually really like his channel, very good content, very well researched, but this is one of those videos I've noticed a lot of the numbers he likes to bring up all the time are missing for some strange reason. Now me, I'm a lot like Scap, but when it comes to numbers, but I'm unlike him because even if it makes my favorite player growing up, who was Vince Carter, look worse, I'll still bring them up. Vince Carter was my favorite player growing up. You couldn't tell me shit about that man when I was 15, 16 years old. But as an adult, you have to come to terms with reality. The reality was, at his best, he was in the argument of the best wing player in the league, but that was maybe a 2-year stretch at the most. After that, he kind of fell into the top 5, which isn't a bad thing, but that's just the fact of the matter. Okay, we're gonna go through this and I'm gonna pick apart Scap's arguments because, like I said, usually he's very well researched, but here is a lot of feelings being thrown around, and yeah, I feel bad making this, but I feel like it has to be done.
Well, okay. Tracy McGrady was not trash on the court, but his gutless and classless slander of the late, great Kobe Bryant, who he was close personal friends of for years, is undeniable trash. And I am actually a huge Tracy McGrady fan. I, in fact, did a video on him a few months back where I call him one of the biggest what-ifs in NBA history, a video you can find on this link above. So it gives me absolutely no pleasure to do so, but I am going to have to remind the world of the limitations of Tracy McGrady within the context that there is somehow an ongoing conversation now about who was better between Kobe Bryant and Tracy McGrady. And all of this stemming from comments made by McGrady himself.
Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship.
And why? Why must we continue to do this? None of you cowards like Stephen A. Smith, Gilbert Arenas, and now Tracy McGrady were dropping this blasphemous garbage in Kobe's direction while he was still here. Now,
well, first off, they didn't bring it up because it wasn't a conversation. The whole ring thing wasn't a conversation until very recently. When Kobe was alive, we weren't constantly talking about rings and the importance and all this other stuff, and it wasn't as big a deal. Okay? 2, people bring up the Shaq thing is because that's the era that he came into. When he was at his peak, when he was at the top of his game, it was the early 2000s. And in the early 2000s, who was the undeniably most dominant force in basketball? Shaq. So when people ask you things, you're going to go to, what you know best, your era. Like if you ask a person that's 45, 50 years old, who's the biggest star you ever seen? Are they going to say Drake? Probably not. They're going to talk about Michael Jackson. You know why? Because that's the era that they came up in. It's just a natural thing. He didn't say, I'm going to only talk about Kobe because I don't like Kobe. No, that's not the case. And it's not slander. He didn't diminish Kobe. He didn't say, I would have done better than Kobe. He didn't say, man, Kobe only won 3, but I would have won 5. That you could make out to be slander. He actually said, look, I could win a championship. So what's the problem? I don't think T-Mac from the year 2001 when he left Toronto till 2005, he doesn't win one. I don't believe that.
Oh, you snakes are slithering around here on your undeserving platforms trying to soil his good name. Disgusting.
It's a complete crap.
But yeah, in case you missed it, McGrady was on set with Stephen A. Smith and, no surprise here, Gilbert Arenas, one of the most prominent and pathetic Kobe haters out there. Seriously, nothing good happens for Kobe's legacy conversations when Agent Zero is lurking anywhere around the camera. In this conversation, they were replying to LeBron's unsolicited comments on ring culture, which, sidebar here guys, there will be a video about that coming up in the next few days. I was trying my best to avoid it, but I just can't help myself at this point. This bum ass is out here proclaiming he's going to win 8 championships before he even won his first one, and now 15 years later is curious all of a sudden about how we all became obsessed with counting rings. Anyways, in the middle of this reaction to LeBron, for some reason, Kobe starts catching massive strays from his alleged good friend Tracy McGrady, who does it not once, but multiple times. Firstly, suggesting that he could have won championships with Shaquille O'Neal.
Replace me with Kobe with Shaq. I don't win a championship? You don't think I could carry the Lakers to a championship?
And look, in the video I referenced earlier about T-Mac, I talk about just how elite he was offensively during his stretch of dominance in the early 2000s. But Kobe Bryant was first or second team All-NBA defense every season the Lakers went to or won a title during the Shaq tenure in LA. McGrady was never All-NBA defense. Kobe, meanwhile, was arguably the best perimeter defender in the NBA at that time. In addition, Bryant was the undeniable closer. In fact, Kobe led the Lakers in clutch time scoring during all 3 title runs in the postseason. Now, can we definitively say that McGrady can't fulfill the defensive roles and clutch time responsibilities that Kobe did? I mean, I personally don't think so.
Okay, so you notice that this guy, if you follow his content, always backs up everything he says with stat after stat after stat, from basic stats to counting stats to advanced metrics. All that stuff is missing here. Now, first off, obviously Kobe was a better defender, but T-Mac was not a traffic cone. T-Mac averaged almost double the blocks that Kobe did. You don't do that by mistake. Okay, so was Kobe a better defender? Absolutely. No one's disputing that. But T-Mac could hold his own. He was more of a, I don't feel like playing defense kind of guy. But if he wanted to get down in the stance, oh, he can put clamps on people. He was 6'8", super athletic, explosive, great anticipation, which is why he averaged almost as many steals as Kobe, because of his anticipation, and that's why he was able to get so many blocks. Okay, so let's not act like it was Kobe here defensively, T-Mac down here. No, it was like Kobe up here because of his heart and his effort, and T-Mac was like here, but if he put his mind to it, could get here. Okay, that's first off. Second of all, you want to talk about clutch, right? Like I said, this is gonna make me look like a hater, but I'm not. if you had to tell me pick 5 guys to take the last shot all time, I'm putting Kobe up there. Over damn near everybody. So, like I said, don't take this as hate. I'm just presenting to you the facts. Okay, so this is up until February 27th, 2012. So basically, we could safely say all of those early 2000s guards and players, they're past their prime at this point. They're not getting any better, okay? So we're gonna look here. Clutch since 2000. T-Mac became his own guy in 2001, right? Field goal attempts, Kobe at the top by a mile. Field goal percentage, Kobe's under 40%. Let's look at some other players. Paul Pierce, 38%, a little lower. Dirk, way higher. LeBron, actually way higher. Vince Carter, higher. Ray Allen, higher. Jason Terry, KG, Dwayne Wade, Tim Duncan, Steve Nash, Andre Miller is tied. Chauncey Billups a little lower. Melo higher, and T-Mac lower. Okay. His best season, of clutch, between 2000 and 2012 was 46%. His worst is 32. Let's look at Tracy McGrady. His best is 42. His worst is 35. So he actually was kind of like more in the middle, where Kobe kind of went up and down. But as you can see, it's not like he was head and shoulders above everyone. Matter of fact, look at Vince. Vince was 50% on his high. Ray Allen, 48%. So we have a couple people here that you could say, as far as clutch responsibilities, could have filled his role in with the Lakers. Now we're gonna talk about playoffs, because this is it says playoffs are included. This is everything, but let's go to the playoffs specifically. 2001, this is where T-Mac's Orlando years, right? His first year. Points, Kobe Bryant's third, boom. T-Mac 6, so he's got the edge there. Go to 2002. Points, these are the playoffs, mind you. T-Mac 9th, Kobe down to 16th. Why are we sitting here acting like he was the only guy? He's behind a number of guards. Allen Iverson had more in the clutch. Reggie Miller, Rashard Lewis, Paul Pierce, T-Mac, Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, what? Come on, man. Now let's look at percentage. 39% for Kobe. There's 33 for T-Mac. Paul Pierce, 64%. You don't think Paul Pierce could have won with Shaq? Shooting like this in the clutch? Come on, man. But yeah, T-Mac, as far as raw numbers, is just points in the clutch, outperformed Kobe. And then in 2003, because in 2004 he wasn't in the playoffs. 2003, points, right? Paul Pierce again. Paul Pierce is looking like he has the strongest case of being a good Kobe replacement with Shaq. T-Mac tied for third, and then Kobe behind him. And he was 23% in the clutch. T-Mac 33, so a 10 percentage point difference in the playoffs in clutch time. Like I said, there's a reason why he didn't bring up actual clutch stats. He was just like, Kobe led the Lakers. I don't think Tracy could have matched him. I just showed you. The points were all very close. And percentages for the most part were close, except this year where it's kind of like not even. You don't think T-Mac, as the number 2 option during those years, his percentage doesn't go up? Because even though, yeah, Kobe, was the number 1 option when it came to clutch, but he had Derek Fisher. He had Robert Horry. You had 2 guys that people knew could hit clutch shots alongside you. They couldn't just leave them open to double team you. T-Mac was basically a one-man band. And like I said, this is not to take anything away from Kobe. We're just talking facts here. He was able to breathe a little bit more. Not saying they were, laying off him in the clutch, but he wasn't getting 3 guys thrown at him. Derek Fisher has a number of clutch shots on the Lakers during those playoffs. Robert Horry, we already know what kind of damage he was doing in the clutch. He was doing it his whole career, from Houston to the Lakers to the Spurs. Tmac in Orlando had no such luxury. He had Pat Garrity, bro. Come on, man. So offensively, he definitely could have stepped in. And now defensively, like I said, at the end of the game, I think he could have been on par, at least a suitable replacement for Kobe, because he wasn't going to take it lightly. He was going to, okay, I got to get my defensive stance. And as a defensive player, when he wanted to be, was actually well above average. Okay?
But more to the point, couldn't we just have said that if prime McGrady had been paired with prime Dwayne Wade and prime Chris Bosh, he also could have won multiple rings with them? Or hey, say if Hakeem Olajuwon got to play with prime Kobe, he would have won multiple rings with him? Why do we only do this shit with Kobe? I mean, if Giannis Antetokounmpo got to play with prime Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, he could have won more than just one title. Am I doing this right?
Actually, you're not doing it right. And the reason I say that is because T-Mac or Kobe, we're talking from 2000 to 2004, 2005, Shaq was the top guy. So you're taking a guy that would have been the top on their own team and putting them with a guy that is even on top of them. Giannis Antetokounmpo joining Kyrie Irving, Giannis is still the top guy. LeBron, yes, he didn't know how to win with Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh until he got with them. But as far as just production and numbers and as a basketball player, LeBron was still the top guy. So yes, he joined them, but he was still up here in the hierarchy. T-Mac, as the top guy on his team, now goes under Shaq. You're joining a better player and you're elite. Okay, it's not like I'm joining these guys that are a touch under me. No, I'm joining a guy that's above me. And like I said, in the 4 years from 01 to 05, T-Mac finished top 3 in PER 3 times and led the league in PER once. Kobe never finished higher than 5th. And this is a guy that loves to throw out PER and advanced metrics, and that's his whole thing with Nikola Jokic. All he does is bring up PER. He he's got the highest PER in history and led the league in PER 4 years in a row. But all of a sudden, now when you're comparing T-Mac and Kobe, I don't hear PER one time. I don't hear it come out your mouth once. Why is that? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. And I'm here to just present the facts. You can sit here and tell me that you still don't believe. That's fine. But I'm just giving you the necessary information. That's all. That's all.
Unfortunately, McGrady wasn't finished there because Stephen A. Smith called T-Mac out for blowing a 3-1 lead, so McGrady again goes to the well of attacking Kobe.
If you're good enough to be up 3-1, they expected you to close the deal. That was the only thing
Kobe's
anybody
never been
ever
up
said.
3-1.
And of course, McGrady is referencing the 2006 playoffs when Kobe was up 3-1 as the 7 seed, mind you, against the 2 seed Phoenix Suns. Kobe had a starting lineup in that series of Kwame Brown, Lamar Odom, Luke Walton, and Smush Parker. Those, along with Kobe, were the starting 5. Luke, Walton, and Smush Parker. Here's the main point though. Again, why Kobe? Kobe's starting lineup there was pure trash. Lamar Odom is most known for being a 6th man of the year, but he was by far the second best player on that entire roster other than Kobe Bryant. Why not bring up, I don't know, say Steph Curry blowing a 3-1 series lead in the NBA Finals round as a unanimous league MVP with a 73-win regular season team? Again, why is it Kobe's name that keeps getting brought up here? But
It's quite easy and obvious, bro. That's his closest comp. When they were both at their peak, that was the conversation. Vince Carter wasn't a part of that conversation. Ray Allen wasn't a part of that conversation. Allen Iverson. It was, who's better, Kobe or T-Mac? That was the comp. And it's natural. I would have done the same thing if I was T-Mac. I'd be like, man, if I was on that team, I don't see how he's wrong at all for feeling that way. Okay? But besides that, when he didn't have Shaq, their careers mirrored each other. T-Mac couldn't get out of the first round, struggling in the playoffs, blew a 3-1 lead. Now it's funny. Scap's like, oh, Kobe was the 7th seed up 3-1 and his team was trash. He played against the 2 seed as the 7th seed. Two things I gotta say. One, you were still up 3-1. So if that team was good enough to get you up 3-1, you gotta close the deal. Two, yeah, your team was trash. you on paper should not have won. Y'all probably shouldn't even been up 3-1. So I'll give you that. I'll give you some credit for even getting up there. But as the top closer, as you said 3 minutes ago, you're the top closer guy. Gotta make that happen. Two, why don't you bring up the fact that Orlando with T-Mac was the 8th seed going against the number 1 seed Detroit Pistons? How come you don't bring that up? You only bring up Kobe being in the 7th seed. Well, T-Mac was the 8th seed, which if I know how to do my math right, that's worse. That's a worse position. That means your team was even worse. Okay, if you're the 8th seed in the East, your team is fucking garbage during that time. But you didn't say, well, T-Mac was the 8th seed, so I'll give him a pass too. You know, you just, no, you're okay with people trashing him for that. Come on, man. That's hypocritical. And like I said, the reason he's not bringing up Steph Curry is because that's not his era. That's not going to be the first place he goes to. He was never compared to Steph Curry. He didn't play in the same era as Steph Curry. Why would he bring that up? He did play in the same era with Kobe Bryant. They both had their primes. You know, they were both ascending at the same time, and then T-Mac's bat gave out. But up until then, that was the conversation. Who is it? Is it T-Mac or is it Kobe? Is it Kobe or is it T-Mac? I remember those episodes on ESPN where they were having these arguments.
See, here's the main point. Kobe would come back from that to go to 3 consecutive finals with Pau Gasol as his only other All-Star and win back-to-back championships against all 50-win opponents. What exactly did you do, Tracy? How did you respond to your blown 3-1 series? Oh, that's right, by never winning a playoff series ever.
What?
No, I didn't say that he never won a championship. I said a single freaking playoff series. Think that over. This scrub is out here shading and slandering Kobe Bean Bryant after having never won a single playoff series ever. That would be a 19-31 overall playoff record for T-Mac. Maybe take Kobe's name out of your mouth. And this one really is a shame because McGrady should know better. We have come to expect this kind of hot garbage from the likes of Gilbert Arenas. Speaking of which, if you missed it, I did indeed get to debate Gilbert one-on-one.
Okay, now he's going to talk about his debate with Gilbert Arenas, who is an idiot for the most part. Yes, Gilbert Arenas sucks. But T-Mac in Houston, his health started to fail him. And Yao Ming always had health issues. Let's not act like they had 4 or 5 seasons, of both players playing 70-plus games. And they had their first season together was mostly healthy. And then after that, it was Yao who missed the playoffs. And then it was T-Mac who missed the playoffs. So, I mean, how much do you expect to happen there? That's, what I'm saying? Like, you can't really get much out of it if you're not on the court. His body was gone by that point. His back gave out on him. He was having all these back spasms and all that. And his career basically was done. And then Yao kept having foot issues. So he was on the way out as well. So obviously they're not going to win a championship like that. But we're talking about Orlando, fully healthy, at the top of his game, T-Mac. Statistically speaking, could have filled Kobe's role. Whether you like to admit it or not, he could have. The numbers bear out. Okay, it is what it is. I know, people hold tightly to people that they grew up on and they can't separate themselves from that. But I'm here to just kind of give you the numbers because Scap is being disingenuous here by omitting a lot of these stats that usually he's very eager to throw in your face. Oh, this guy with the win percentage and and the PR. All of a sudden that shit's missing. And there's a very real reason for that, because he doesn't want to bring up these numbers because it makes it look like, oh, maybe T-Mac could have gone there and won a championship. Like I said, a championship. T-Mac didn't say, hey, you don't think I could have had a three-peat too? He didn't say that. He said a championship. And I think, yeah, he could have. I think a guy that led the league 2 years in a row in scoring could have replaced Kobe scoring. I mean, is it really that much of a stretch? The guy that had 13 points in 30 seconds to come back against the Spurs, I don't think he could have had some clutch shots. Come on, man. Kobe wasn't by far the best clutch player in the league during his time, and I just showed you the numbers to prove it. And like I said, he's in my top 5 clutch players of all time. But the numbers are the numbers, bro. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about it. Am I a hater for presenting numbers, or should I just forget about numbers here, because it's Kobe? I'm out.